in just one moment. Thank you, Brink, so much for choosing cider. I am having sparkling cider. Obviously, I don't drink alcohol, but sparkling cider, apple juice essentially. But I do love the apple juice. So, hello, hello. Um, let's see. So, hello, Tyneck. I did see that, by the way. Hello, Mobile Armor. Hello, Brink. Hello, Ty. Hello, Cogs. Hello, Pokemon. Hello, Mobile Armor. If I didn't already say hi to you. Hello, Wolf with Sword. And hello, Meridian. And Cox. I think that is everyone. Give me just a second. I have to figure out how to open this. And hello, Alex. How are y'all doing? Alex, how many streams are you watching at the moment? Alex, are you watching 3 or 4 streams at the moment? If you were to be honest. Allergies? Yes, I have massive amounts of allergies right now. Apologies, guys. Okay. Anyways. So, if you guys read the title, what we will be working on today is we are going to make a 2 dueling math machines. So essentially, Twitch chat is going to get broken up into groups based on I don't know yet. And you guys are going to fight using math. We shall see how that goes. Oh, it's non-alcoholic RPC. 2.2. Anywho. Let's go ahead and get started, though. We are going to have quite a bit of soldering for us to do today. So, we're gonna start. Otherwise, Twitch will steal. She's already clumsy. Guys, I know I'm already clumsy. Anyways. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna use the clamps for that. Cider in NA is generally always soldering? Is something wrong with soldering? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And cider in NA is generally non-alcoholic. O7 group projects. Yeah, O7 group projects. Yeah, O7 group projects. Well, this is just... Where do you buy the ESP, all of the Arduino variants? So I get a majority of them off of Amazon. And that's generally what I do with it. Or what do? I randomly acquired a stray dog, give it its shots, and from there decide if you're going to keep the dog or find a forever home for it. Don't feel pressured to take in the dog, but if you love it and you can... If you love it and you want it, Actually, the reason why my allergies are so bad today is because I was dog sitting for my parents. A bit. So unfortunately, my allergies are acting up. And no, I disagree, RPC. I can disagree with you all day on that one. Anyways, let's get this guy mounted. That pipe cutter is scary? No, it's not scary. Okay, one too many. Though I will use a cutter. A cutter makes more sense here. Oh yes, so for the build, I'm pretty sure what we will be using, we're going to be using multiple different transistors. So multiple different transistors and then multiple LEDs to indicate health. We're going to have to be using a MUX. So a device that allows you to change like a singular or just a few channels into multiple channels. And the idea is that, like, again, you guys are going to get randomly divided up, and then you guys are going to fight, and the math problems, you're going to, like, they're going to be presented to you, you're going to submit your answer, and then whoever submits it first will get a point, and then deal damage to the other side. And then, likewise, like, as it keeps going, the questions will get harder and harder. And yes, I'm aware that people may cheat by using a calculator. But perhaps we can get around that. I'm pretty sure we can make some problems that can't be solved by a calculator. Right? You guys are all good at math, right? Right? I have a feeling that a majority of you. Calculator slows you down quite a bit. Yeah, it does. Ooh, we could do individuals. Oh, I wonder if it would be fun to have... Hello, I am Draken. Welcome in. Of course, prize off one too many. It's okay. We're all terrible at math here. I'm not sure if I've said it before. I hate math, but I love VTuber. Oh. I see. But your name's Quantum Spartan. That's like... I feel like with a name like that, you must love math and history, if I had to guess. Alright. That should be fine. And we're going to need to solder 2 of these, at least. We may end up only using 1, but I don't know that for a fact, and there's a very strong possibility that we're going to have to use multiple. Who knows the best Twitch chat and Wolfram Alpha Python libraries? Or are you already celebrating the new year? Yeah, I mean, it's only like noon at Point Nemo, but yeah. We have sparkling cider, non-alcoholic, you know. It's delicious. Quantum stuff is super interesting, though I'm not overly knowledgeable about it. I would definitely like the opportunity to look into it more. If I am allowed to. Maybe we could make like a beam splitter or something. Then again, that sounds extremely difficult. But we've made difficult stuff before on this channel, so I'm not like super worried about it. Cider, food, lots of adrenaline. Yeah, definitely. Okie dokie. I think we're good. So I'm just gonna flip these upside down, plug them into the breadboard. And this should be the right number of pins. And then what we are going to do to attach it is we are going to solder the back side of it. So let's zoom in. Okay, so we're gonna solder all those pins. So it shouldn't be too bad. Also optics, let's go. Dude, if... Okay. Partially, I kind of want to try just to see if I can. But making a beam splitter sounds extremely difficult. Like, just the thought of making a thing that's able to split light, like 50-50 or whatever, that's very intimidating. I'm not sure if it's, like, intimidating towards anyone else, but, like, for me, I am Monka of it. Nuclear Boy Scout made fun site in his backyard. I'm sure you can do it. I'm pretty sure that was illegal. And I don't break the law. I'm a good noodle. Oh, 1 second. I just have to ban someone real quick. Bup. Okie dokie. Very good. Hey, Crow. Welcome in. Both of those would be correct. Both of what would be correct? Oh, banned. Yes, that's okay. Can I devour their soul and bloodline, please? Yes, Wolf. As a little treat, you can. You know, just for New Year's. Okay, sorry. Had to sneeze. I'm periodically going to be muting to sneeze. Again, I'm very allergic to most animals, unfortunately. Even though I love animals. My body does not. Alright, let's get to soldering. So, I was thinking about what we would talk about today. I'm not sure about y'all, but I've had a pretty eventful past few days. Though I would definitely rather it be uneventful days, personally. But I guess you can't really choose. Allergies are stupid, we need to get rid of them. Maybe we can. What if there's a way to do that tie? Okay. What's happening? What has been happening? Nothing too much. Apparently there's a hypoallergenic cat food. Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, not too much has... Or, well, actually, no. Way too much has been happening. Though it's mostly, like, family stoof. There we go. So, let's get this in place. I was kind of hoping for a nice, quiet week off, because I have this week off. Well, that's a bad blob. I hope everything is okay. Yes, everything is okay. Oh, what is the model of that multiplexer? Give me a second. So, model of the multiplexer is right there. The V599 16-channel analog multiplexer. That is the device we will be using. So you'll see on my thumb side, you'll see that there are the initial signals that you have that are inputted into the chip, and then you have the output switcher on this side. So yeah, it's very useful. Also, I was gonna have a conversation about this. Let's have the conversation now. I think this will make a good conversation. So, something that I was kind of realizing to myself or working on earlier was, I was like, oh man, these, hopefully the subathon plans have not been impacted. Oh no, there's no subathon planned, I don't think. Also, 1 second, I need to recal my model. I just realized that my wings are not working. That tends to happen. We're gonna be wonko real quick. And then go back. And glasses. Go back down. Okay. Better. Oh, hey PTSD cat, welcome in. Math exists, jump scare. Yeah. Again, so the thought is that depending on how close you are, you're essentially going to be trading blows, and each math problem will get harder and harder. As you get closer to winning. That's the idea. I have no idea how to implement that. But I want to. So we will. Oh yes, so back on the previous conversation topic. So implementation and stuff. One thing that I like... Okay, so one thing that I really like doing here is being able to prototype and come up with ideas with you guys and, execute them in real time. But something that I feel kind of gets neglected, per se, or not as focused on as it should be, would be what comes after. So... Oh, thank you so much for following, Teshov. So, along those lines, I thought it would be a bit interesting to talk about what would generally go on here. So if we were to make this an actual product, what would go on to get this from the stages of being a simple prototyped device where we're hand soldering everything to something that's actually commercial. I don't claim to be an expert on this stuff, but I'd like to talk about what little I know. As a jumping off point. There we go. Not the greatest solder blobs, but they'll do. Give me a second. I'm just gonna clean these up. Not great. Yeah, they're a little thick. A little thick for my taste. Okay. Yeah. So we have the first one soldered. They look okay. They aren't touching or anything, so it's fine. So, for instance, this device here. Ori, the exact model of the chip is 74HC4067, just in case you ever want to buy the chips separately. Calculus or multi-digit multiplication? I don't know yet. We will figure that out. It's going to start easy. Definitely stuff that everyone can do on the fly. But it will get harder, I guess is the idea. But along the lines for this, what I was thinking about is, for instance, this multiplexer, right? These devices are, like, if you look at this, this is way too big for almost anything. Like, it's almost the size of my thumb. It's like, it takes up a lot of space, and it takes up a lot of space, like, on a board, and, like, the I.O. itself, right? So for, like, a practical device, these things normally wouldn't be used for an actual implementation using, like... So if Hasbro, or whatever toy company, wanted to make this device, they would essentially have to figure out an easier way, or a more efficient way, to manufacture everything. And that goes into an interesting, like, side tangent, into our ESPs. So our ESPs are very good for, like, prototyping stuff. They're very generalized. They're very generalized, though their, like, capabilities are kind of, like, limited and stuck in a it's not even stuck in a single way, but their capabilities are limited, and they are kind of, like, bulky for what they are. So, obviously you can build things, so, I'm trying to think of a good way of putting this into words. So what a dev kit is a kit for you to develop the actual software and hardware interface, I suppose. When you are trying to make a new device. Hold on. Yeah, it's a great tool to prototype. Hold on. I want to think of the way. Meanwhile, ESP32 and C3 super mining the size of a small coin. Yes. And also, I just realized that the music is way too soft. Okay, that's a bit better. But yes, so as I was saying, apologies for saying then you can identify what specialized hardware you can use to reduce bill of material. Yes. Yes, that is so true. Simple math problem to me has two apples, how many breadboards is where I have too many. Okay, get this on and this on. Oh, give me a moment. Let me flip this guy back over. Oh yes, so as I was saying before, with dev kits, they essentially let you choose, like, your hardware ahead of time. So again, if we pop this guy's lid off, you'll see that the actual unit's, like, smaller than this. I'm not sure if I have it. Hold on. Are we willing to sack one for science? I think we'll sack one for science. Give me a second. I need some pliers. It should still work, too, after we take off the lid. The lid's mostly just for protection. 07. 07 indeed. Apologies. Again, my allergies are kind of a little bit rough. Have you ever played around with a Xilinx ASIC? So a Xilinx ASIC, that seems to be a bit of a catch. I have experience with using a ZCU102 and a Versal dev kit. So those are the two new ones. And a few others. But when you say ASIC and Xilinx, that doesn't make much sense to me. Apologies. Or April 1st is a stream day, you should use it you should use an ESP32 for once. I've used them before, they're just more painful. Okay, so if we pop this guy's lid open, you should be able to see the actual chip. Just get the pliers. Up, up, up. Come on. Okay. So, if we look even closer, you'll see the actual chip right there in the center. It is most certainly not ESD protected, so I may short it. That is okay. So see, that tiny little chip there is essentially what we're developing for. So this entire dev kit is focused around essentially getting as much as possible out of that chip. So that's why we have all these different I/O connections, all of these different like indicators for LEDs and stuff. Do you mean field program locator A? Can you get printed silicon at all these prices? You can. But yes, so with these, you're only really trying to get this guy. Because for the actual finalized product, you are only really going to include this thing. I'm not sure what the other device is. Hold on. I imagine that it's a power distribution, or a power thing. But anyways, so, yeah. So, you're essentially developing for these processors here. And, you are. I don't know what else to really say about that. When it comes to development, you have the option of sticking with a processor and generally putting together a custom board. That's what, oh gosh, who said ASIC earlier? Shinzu said ASIC. So, with ASICs, they're like singularly designed. They're singularly designed for like one application. As in, they're never going to be used outside of their original application, or like, they should never be used outside their original application, and you guys get, yes, it's essentially an optimized one-trick pony. So for both cost, complexity, and other things, you get a wide range, or you essentially get a much cheaper board per unit. However, the downsides with that, like, why not just use an ASIC for everything, is because spinning custom hardware is expensive. So often what people do is an in-between, which is using an FPGA. Those come in the form of, like, again, some Xilinx products, some Intel products, and other things. Ooh. Apologies. Just doing some soldering real quick. And those guys... So FPGAs basically allow you to... It's hard to explain what an FPGA does. Hold on. Let me think of a good way. ASICs are only good if you can make or justify a lot of an expensive product. Yeah. Or if you need, like, performance. So with the FPGAs, they essentially allow you... I should have pushed that in more. Whoops. 1 second. That should be fine. Okay. 1 sec. But FPGAs allow you basically to recustomize your software and hardware on the fly. Mostly your hardware. So FPGAs basically contain the logic that are needed to, like, reproduce things like this. So for instance, you could emulate a MUX chip in... Oh gosh, I don't want to wage war using math. It's okay, we do it as a little fun. So yes, so for the FPGAs, for instance, you can mimic things like this guy here, like a MUX. You can mimic basically every logic and almost every non-sensor component you can think of, so like communication channels, that type of stuff. You can even go so far as to emulate actual processors. Oh, I've heard the Arctic 7 is a great stepping off point for FPGA stuff. I don't have one myself. Perhaps we could maybe get into FPGA stuff next year. But the thing that's interesting... Oh, thank you so much, sorry, for subscribing, Ario. It's very appreciated, thank you, for the tier 3 sub, Pog. Sorry. I'm sorry I missed that. Apologies. I was absorbed in the FPGA talk. But essentially it allows you to have... It allows you to, like, basically make the entire system ahead of time so you know what you'll need when you spin an actual ASIC board. Or alternatively, you can always just use the FPGA itself. However, those boards can get fairly expensive fairly quickly. In addition to being hard to procure. Like, one of the advantages with the ESP32, for example, is, like, how available it is, right? So you can buy one. You can buy one off of Amazon, right? And you could buy hundreds if you really wanted to. You can easily buy dozens, right? Whereas the same is not often true for those more expensive dev kits, like the Xilinx products have. Or AMD or Intel, whatever product you're looking at. Actually, AMD is Xilinx, so yeah. What if I buy hundreds? You can't really do that. So even if you try to go online and go to Mouser, you would find difficulties in doing that. So what are we building? Oh, hello, Melon on the Shelf. So we are currently building a device that will allow chat to compete with each other using math and wage war on each other. I don't know how we're going to divide up into different teams, but we'll figure it out. Also, I may need a quick moment here in a second. Apologies. And right now, I'm just working on our muxes. And I'm just cleaning them up a bit. Okay. Alrighty. Give me just one moment, guys. I'm gonna take a quick break. I need to use the bathroom for a second. I will be back in like a minute. What am I supposed to do? I usually don't. Okay. 1 second. I'm struggling to get this guy off the cap first. Okay. Okay, give me a brief second. Oh, okay, we have a bad solder job here. We're gonna have to address this. Give me a brief second. I'll be right back. 1 minute. Okay, apologies about that. I'm back. I'd rather just construct my own battle bot and everyone else builds their own and you stream them beating each other down. The problem is, Merpy Poo, we already did that. Well, not, like, each person having it. But we did make an error with this, with our soldering job here. So if you see they are slanted inward, this is not acceptable, unfortunately. Or not unfortunately. So we are going to... I can see if we can desolder it, but it may just be easier to start over. Why those FPGA cards are so expensive when made as a PCIe card? I'm not sure. I don't know the actual technical reasons why FPGAs are so expensive. It's essentially just post the VODs to prove it. I mean, I'm pretty sure there are clips. Well, now we see why you're having problems getting it out. Yeah, exactly. Lore isn't real unless there's a VOD. Oh, well, too bad. I think I actually do have those VODs saved. I do have most of the VODs saved, I just never use them. Sure. Go ahead, Sparks. I'm listening. I am listening, Sparks. We don't care if we destroy the header pins. FPGAs are significantly more complex to manufacture for the same compute as a one-purpose system. Use some angle cutters and cut the plastic. Okay. I see what you mean. I can do that. Give me a moment. So, we'll try that. Give me a moment. Is there a copper contact or is that soldering iron just egregiously dirty? It's just egregiously dirty, I think. I really do need to, probably do a better job of maintaining it. Which is a shame, because I really love the just snip the plastic in between the pins. Just snip the plastic between the pins. Oh, okay. Wait, this sounds like a lot more effort, but sure, give me a moment. So I'm guessing this is from manufacturing. But yeah, I just thought it would be an interesting side tangent for us to go into essentially the hardware. Oh my gosh. As we destroy this board. Dude, I don't think this is a good idea. I mean, it's too late now, but like... Yeah, I'm just going to... No. We should pull the pins out. Okay. It's a lot easier than trying either A, removing all the solder, or have the solder in the liquid. Creative with electronics. Yeah, we'll see how creative we can get. Okay, make sure we're up to temp. Hold on, we are going up to temperature. Give it a second. Or give it a minute. Having solder liquid at the same time. Does it matter if the pins are bent if they are soldered? No, we don't care that the pins are bent. Oh. I mean, okay, but if we do that, I feel like we run into other issues. Give me a second. Where are my pliers? I know I have these pliers, but those aren't optimal for this. They'll do. They'll do. They're a little big for me. Dang, where are the nice cutters, though? Oh, there they are. By nice cutters, I mean strictly worse cutters. I just prefer them cutters because they're smaller. This is such a bad idea. Okay, no, we're not doing this. Yeah, no, we're not doing this. Apologies. I'm just gonna eat the loss. We're just going to eat the loss. I will have to look on how to do that more properly. During my own time. Because I don't have to reheat everything. That board is so cooked. It's okay, it's not actually cooked. Hello, Art Universe, welcome in. Happy 2026 to you. Do you have any fun plans for 2026? Because we'll just be making devices here. Okay, ripperoni pepperonis. We'll just toss that guy in the trash. Okay. This is why we solder a spare. Do you? Okay, need one extra. Okay. Okie dokie. Can we stream till New Year's? No. So today I actually have some plans with family, to do an early New Year's. Because, you know, it doesn't happen till super late on NA time. Because we're in the middle of the ocean. But here are... Sec. I'm going to get around the issue of having the inward bent pins by just soldering one row. We'll just have this propped up on something. Give me a second. On Friday, Ori will be able to say I haven't streamed since last year. Dude, I don't like when people do that. I do not like when people do that. Or say they haven't, like, I'll see you next year. What is the dateline, side of the dateline point on Point Nemo? I actually don't know off the top of my head. Hold on, I'm just trying to get this guy kind of stacked straight. Okay. I haven't... Okay. Okay. Very good for you. Very good for you, Murphy. That sounds very healthy. That sounds definitely healthy, and you should definitely continue that trend, because what could possibly go wrong? Anyways, so... Give me a sec, I am just cleaning the soldering iron. That's gonna have to be good. Okay, at least the tip's better, but we're still gonna have to deal with some issues. Okay. Gonna take a second for it to come back up to temperature. Alright. This is the first stream of the year. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's the first stream of the year for Alex, right? Because Alex is on the EU schedule. Or any other friends in the EU. Actually, now that I think about it, what country is on the dateline? Or the international dateline? Because I know it's a vaguely, like, in the West Coast. Not like vaguely in the West Coast, but vaguely... like, in the Pacific Ocean, on the West Coast. Like, west side of the Pacific Ocean. But I don't know the actual line of demarcation off the top of my head. I haven't left my house in a year. Okay. Okay. You guys are so funny. You guys are so funny and quirky. I'm pretty sure it's in all international waters. Oh, okay. I thought the dateline went through islands in the Pacific. Yeah, that's what I was thinking dropped train. Like, with no evidence, by the way. I just believe that is the case. Pretty sure it avoids all countries. Is there a line that avoids all countries? I really should know better. Like, at all? It does, like, a little square around the islands. Oh, does it? That'd actually be pretty cool. Though still, I feel like that would be extremely inconvenient. But I guess there's not a... No, I guess there's not, like, a terribly high number of people who are living out there. It's a lot less funny when you realize it's still 2025 for me. Sparks You've definitely left, right? Yeah, it's not an actual line, it's Super Jacket. Oh, okay. I see. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this guy seated. Man, I still didn't do a great job with the first round. Not happy with the solder job so far. That is okay, I just expected better. Okay, yeah, that's flat. Okay, let's zoom in just a bit. Okay. And let's start applying. Sounds like me looking at grades. Oh no, don't worry. Dude, me looking at grades is always... That is good, but I just expected better. Oh, dude, no. For me, it's... Mine's usually shock and denial that I somehow passed whatever class I'm working on. Oh. Sorry, I'm just trying to clean the tip. Give me a moment. Okie dokie. There we go. Let's just get this guy soldered, and then we can move onwards and upwards into testing our digital logic. Oh yes, on to how long I think this project's going to take, I forgot to mention that. I think it is either going to take us 2 or 3 streams. It most certainly is not going to take 1 stream. I am positive of that. Just because there's too much soldering involved. But, man, I'm struggling so much with allergies right now. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. We are good. We are good. Your soldering has gotten 100% better over these months. Yeah, I suppose it's gotten a bit better, but it is still very lackluster in my opinion. I still have way too much. I'm over soldering all of these. At least some of the things look too bad. Okay. 1000% missed to 0. Oh, okay. There hasn't been any fires. Yeah, those joints just don't look that good. That's okay. Anyways, this should be fine. Okay, yeah, these are more straight. This should be fine. Let's go ahead and... You still have to worry about grades. Dude, I think I've said this before, but I always view everything as school. For basically my entire life, I viewed everything as, this is just school. You're lucky I didn't clip any of that joints with the old iron. Okay, to be fair, like, partially that was iron-based and partially... Oh. Really? What? Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I guess some of the soldering iron work was, like, shoddy, but, like, again, I'm gonna say that it was partially the fault of the soldering iron, and I know only a poor craftsman blames their tools, but, listen, let me cope, okay? I needed to cope. Alright. Next bit, we need to make the actual logic. This shouldn't require too much soldering. So, this should be a bit easier. We are likely going to use a breadboard for our application here, because I feel like using a perf board would make me go insane, or clinically insane. So normally, what I like to do to power devices is I like to use these power relays here, right? However, these power relays are pretty bulky, and if we need more than just a few devices powered, it gets very expensive very quickly. Not like expensive as in cost, these aren't that expensive, but expensive as in space and wiring. It gets very complicated very quickly. So I'd like to avoid that if possible. So what we are going to do, will you be clipping the board with pipe cutters as you did last time? We won't be using a board this time. Or we'll be using a breadboard. Or multiple breadboards. We might have to use multiple. There's a good chance we have to use multiple breadboards. But that is all good. Anyways. Yeah, so we are going to avoid relays by using transistors. Let's see. Got to remember which transistor to use. Probably just want to use an NPN. Yeah, we'll probably just use an NPN. Okay. So, transistors will be easier to use. Let's go ahead and take a quick look and make sure it's labeled correctly. Okay. Depends. Do you want a high or low signal? High signal. So signal high to turn on is easier. MOSFET based power. No, so the MOSFET is, yes. Yes, that's what, yes. Yes, okay, yeah. So we're going to use the C1815 transistor. MOSFET based power. No, so we aren't using MOSFET based power, but it is going to be connecting the voltage sources. So what we need to do, let's simplify this out a bit. So again, we are going to be using LEDs to indicate our health. Let's just grab one. We don't need anything in particular, just green, sure. Okay. Okay, so what we need to do is essentially set up a circuit that's able to take advantage of this. Are you near or farsighted? I am nearsighted. I can't see good far away. So, taking a look, again, we are using the component. Let me see if I can get the part number on there. Oh, it's the other way. Apologies. Oh my gosh, you guys can see my thumb so close. Oh. The C1815. That is the value you're using. Also, please don't, like, copy my fingerprints and then, like, get me convicted of a crime. I'd appreciate that. Okay. Anyhow. Oops, too late? What do you mean, too late? What do you guys mean by too late? Deletes fingerprint scans? Yeah. Yeah, you guys better delete those, like, artificial fingerprint scans, hopefully. Okay, I need to look up C1815 transistor datasheet. Make sure we have the right datasheet. I do have it. I just want to make sure we're using the right one. Collector, emitter, base. And then let me see if I have the doc for you guys, so you guys can also see. No, I do not. Okay. That's okay. So, real quick, I'll explain what each leg is for. Okay. So, in our middle, we should have our collector. That is going to be involved. What's that? Hold on. I need to bend these out slightly. She doesn't need to know. Wait, what do you mean I don't need to know? Okay, copy and... That's too try hard. Okay, guys. Okay. Apologies. I am struggle bussing right now. You're just going to get this. Wait a dang second. Do you have a stream jacket? Oh yeah, of course. So it matches my it matches the model. So, like, you know, I have, like, blue sleeves and a nice little lab jacket. And then, if you check on my model, I actually have blue sleeves. So, yeah. I have it to match. Yes, hand-painted. never use a painting bit. She cosplays her character every stream. I don't cosplay. I am my character. I am Oriana. Okay. Okay. Alright. So let's just get this off to the side. On here. I just want these slightly bent out so we'll be able to. The details for the chance the sleeves come into picture. Yeah, exactly. She only wears the jacket, never the hussy outfit. Yeah. That is correct. The only time I do, or the only time that I would, like, toggle, so I think I can toggle my lab coat like that. The only time I would toggle my lab coat is, like, whenever I'm, like, taking it off to take, like, electrical measurements on my arm or something. If need be. So I'm just splitting apart these pins so they'll be a bit easier to distinguish. Then do we measure your height from head or fin? What? Whichever you'd prefer. Who knows? Maybe it's neither. So again, so our emitter is going to be the one on the far side over here where I'm currently pointing. Our middle is going to be our collector. And then our right side is our base. So we need to connect those up accordingly. So essentially what we'll need to do, is that correct? Hold on, let me make sure I'm not giving you guys misinformation. As funny as it would be to give you guys misinformation. What? Will you still be using a DC power source? Yes, the plan is to use a DC power source. C1815 transistor datasheet. We open up the datasheet. 1 emitter, 2 collector, 3 base. Okay, yeah, that's also what I'm seeing. 1 emitter, 2 collector, 3 base. Yep, okay, cool. Alright. I remember when I was first starting with electrical design, I didn't know about multiplexers, so I just raw dogged those using MOSFETs for digital logic and burned my finger good times. Oh my gosh, dude. That is such a vibe. That is such a vibe. Homotype, that is a massive vibe. Also, hello Zandria VR. Welcome in. So again, we are trying to make a device that will let chat rage war on each other using mathematics. So essentially what we are going to do is write an interface using this microcontroller, or utilizing this microcontroller in order to divide up into teams, different chatters, and what we want it to do is spit out math problems for each team to solve, and think of it as like a moving health bar, and as you answer questions and deal damage to the other team, the math problems get harder and harder. And yeah, hopefully that all works. And then we're just making the control circuitry for it right now. So to make that happen, we're using a multiplexer here. So this guy is responsible for taking in just a few signals and putting it out to many signals. The reason why we need this is to control all of our LEDs. It is possible to use like a controller or an LED controller, but we're just using a multiplexer in this case. And then, instead of using power relays, so instead of using these power relays for each individual output pin, so see how there's like 16 different output pins here on this side? Instead of using that, instead of using these guys, which are a little bulky, and I do have like 16 of them, but it wouldn't be that efficient, we are going to be using transistors. So we have a transistor. This is a C1815 is the part number. And we will be using this to control the electricity instead. So that will be what we are working on at the moment. Oh, and we will be using a DC source, I believe. Not I believe, we are going to be using a DC source. Or effectively a DC source. We'll probably just hook up a battery, make a common voltage rail, and have it pull from the common voltage rail. That's the plan. How does the multiplexer interface with the microcontroller? Oh, that's a good question. So the multiplexer interfaces with the microcontroller by the following. So see, this guy has signal, signal 3, signal 2, signal 1, and signal O, and then a power. But what is actually used here is you use these signal pins here. These 4 signal pins are responsible for indicating which one you are putting out to. So, if you do, what is it? 2 to the 4 should be 16, I think. Hold on. 2, 4, 8, 16, yes. So there's 16 different outputs based on the 4 different signal pins here. Binary, yes. Exactly. So we have 4 bits to play with. So the 4 bits will each represent one of 16 different outputs. So that's how you control it. And then you choose the signal, I believe, by essentially saying, hey, you're acting as an input, or hey, you're acting as an output. We are going to be acting these all as outputs. So that is there. And then we also need some power to control it, but that's easy enough. And then I believe we ignore these two. That's for other applications. Though don't quote me on that. But yes, so that's what we are working on at the moment. And again, we soldered these in place ourselves, so not the greatest soldering job, but we'll make do. We make do here. Here. So 4-bit arm signal and a fire signal, essentially. Yes, that is correct. Well, the 4-bit gets to choose. Yes. For lack of a better word, yes. Metal collector base. Oh, thank you so much for following. I hope you have a good time here. And if you don't, that's okay too. Success, my chair recline lever works again. That is awesome to hear, Brink. Absolutely awesome to hear. Also, your name is Xandria VR. Hold on, I'm looking at your profile picture. It looks like you play VRC, is that correct? Okay. I'm just going to plug this guy in. Okay, so I separated them out, the legs on this guy. So we essentially have, we have one pin in between each one. So we have a pin on 2, we have a pin on 4, and we have a pin on 6. So that's where the pins for this guy lies. And if we make this guy lie flat real quick, you can see we're utilizing those pins. And we also have a sprinkle from the popcorn experiment on this guy. Give me a second. Gotta love how... Dude, the popcorn experiment was probably the worst thing I've ever cleaned up, by the way. Post-experiment. Now to make pizza dough? Wait, what do you mean make pizza dough? Okay. Pity I missed that one. Yeah, I guess so. I haven't logged in for years, but I used to. Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. Should have streamed the cleanup. No, I didn't want to stream the cleanup because it was a lot of... Okay, a little confession, guys. The grease, or the oil from the popping went, like, everywhere. Like, it got on the walls. It got on the walls, it got on the floor, it got on, like, all my electrical components, and I essentially had to scrub out everything, with, like, a mixed solution of, like, dishwater or dish soap and water. And, yeah, not an experience I would redo. And, of course, I did get, like, slightly burned, but not, like, super burned, so, you know, at least I didn't get hurt, but, you know. She doesn't cook. Yeah, I don't cook. Listen. The beginning of Ori's lab? What do you mean the beginning of Ori's lab? Dude, we've been in a lab for a while. Clean up 2x times the stream. How long was the cleanup? It was a while. I honestly like to pretend that it's a character lore, not IRL Ori. They're the same person, Sparks. I am the same person. We are. I am the same person. Like, I am me. This is me. I'm not playing a character. This is just me. I don't know. I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to do some stuff. That's okay. Listen, listen, okay? I may not know how to tie my shoes, okay? I may not know how to tie my shoes, but I can make a robot that can tie my shoes. So I think that counts. Okay? Okay. Okay. You don't wear this coat to work, right? No. No, I get to wear a different coat at work. I get to wear a different white coat at work. Ori knows how to tie her shoes. No, I do not. I think I've gone over this. That I don't have any... That I'm not good at that type of stuff. Never have been. Probably never will be. And that's okay. I have accepted my uselessness when it comes to tying knots. Oh man, wait, is that why I'm moving? Okay. Skill points are just allocated quite differently than average Joe, providing savant quirks. Yes! Okay, okay! Wolf! Wolf, you get it! Wolf, you get it! You get it! You get it! Okay, so being left-handed actually affects your shoe tying. Because the way that you, like, do your over and unders actually matter. Sorry, I'm very passionate about that. The fact that if you're left-handed, like, life is just, like, slightly worse for you. Yeah, the knots are, like, slightly looser. Being left-handed is rough. But that's okay, guys. That's a big copium. It's actually not. Like, again, I didn't learn that until I was an adult. I did not learn that until I was an adult. That left-handed knots are just inherently worse. Because... okay, in elementary school, I was bad at tying my shoes, so my friends would just, like my friend Laura would just, like, come up and tie my shoe for me. Because I couldn't keep my shoes tied. Like, even if I, like, triple knotted it, I couldn't keep it tied, so she would just come up and tie them for me. You know, it's an entire, like, generation. It's an entire saga. I never thought to download the VODs. Had a shop that was entirely built for a left-handed person, and all of us righties were constantly bumping and hitting things there. You'd love to have a story like Lefty, the left-hand story? Oh, that would be useful. Good. I mean, you do get used to it, but... Okay. Alright. Wait, why do you have the VOD saved? Oh, in case anyone's been sitting on them and would like to release them, or anything along this context, I might as well say this now, just in case. If anyone would like to release the VODs on YouTube or whatever, feel free to. Like, I upload them when I remember to, which isn't very often. But yeah, feel free to upload whatever regarding myself. Okay. I can automate VOD posts. I see. Okay. So I'm only going to start with 3 because that just seems easier to me. Let's go ahead and get this guy working. I've self-trained to be a bit of an Omnidex. Ooh, that's pretty cool. was left-handed, but... Oh, I see. Hmm. Sorry, guys, I keep sneezing. Are we all watching SBR? No is not an answer. I'm sorry, SBR? I don't know what SBR is. I have a bad feeling, though. Steel Bull Run. I've never heard of that. Alrighty. Let us get the rest. Okay, so we are also going to need some resistors real quick. We are going to be using probably... Let me see if I have a battery connector. Let me see what battery connector I have. That will determine our amperage. 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. I am back. So we are going to be using 2 AA's for approximately 3.3 volts. I need to solder this guy real quick so we are able to actually connect to it. So give me a second to ship this guy out and we'll get on it. Okay. Again, apologies about the allergies. I am struggle busing. I am so sorry again for any inconvenience that may be occurring because of it. What else is there to talk about? Okay, looks fine. Let's go ahead and ship this guy down just a little. And we should be Gouda. Okay. Then we'll just need to rewrap it with some thicker gauge wire. You don't have to apologize for having allergies. Again, dude, it was to the point where I used to apologize a lot more than I currently apologize, and I apologize for, like, everything, if you guys haven't noticed. But I used to apologize, like, even more, than I do currently. Though I feel like you would be the kind of person to apologize for getting a nosebleed at random. Yeah, perhaps. I totally would. But back in college, like, my roommates essentially made me pay them money. Or, like, not pay them money. Well, actually... Yeah, there was a sorry jar. So anyways, my first semester in college, I lost a lot of money to the sorry jar. Because I would say sorry. Not the greatest. Not the greatest at that. Not the greatest at not saying sorry. As a Canadian, I need to be fine for you apologizing. Yes, it's a sorry jar. Instead, you've heard of the curse jar, now get ready for the sorry jar. I still kind of wonder why my roommates are so upset about that. Do we need an apology shock stream? You know, if we ever have, like, a bit of time at end of stream, I'll make one of those. I can make that pretty quickly, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I can make that. Because it's just voice recognition, right? It's voice recognition plus a interface to the shock device. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, dude, I could bang that out in like 20 minutes. legal note, I could not actually bang it out in 20 minutes. Actually, I probably could, realistically, but I don't want to. Okay. There we go. Let's get this guy soldered. Gonna need the helping hands. Woof with spooky is not normal. Woof is the peak of normalcy and the king of comedy. So don't be disparaging Woof, okay? Don't disparage anyone in chat. Oh. Or do, I don't know. You can disparage your streamer, I guess. Sorry, I keep sneezing. Apologies. Okie dokie. Happy New Year, Tallarine. Actually, be right back making pizza dough now. Good luck. Back up. Okay, I'm just gonna carefully bind this guy. And again, right now I'm just working on the battery connector for our voltage to R. For the voltage to R. Whatchamacallit? Not supply. Our voltage to our LEDs. Just gonna have to solder this. Okie dokie. And then I'm just gonna go slide it slightly forward. Slightly backwards. Oh my gosh, the struggle parts. Okay. Not super clean, but that should be fine. Yeah, I'll be fine. And then I need some electrical tape. Wherever my electrical tape is. Oh, Oh, guys, I actually got medical tape, by the way. So next time that we have to tape something to my skin, or like our skin, we won't have to worry about it, like causing issues. Okay. Let me just cut this guy, and we should be good. Let's see. Besides that, wait, is medical tape actually better for that? I have no idea, Sparks. I think it's actually worse. I've always just used duct tape, likewise. I'm pretty sure it is worse if I vaguely recall from school. Do you find soldering super satisfying? I like soldering. I've had the chance to improve on it quite a bit this year. Trust. But I struggle with it, if that's not obvious. I struggle very much with soldering. Or making a nice solder joint. But practice does help. Again, I've come a long way. Like, I used to not even pre-tin my iron, and now I can't even think of not doing that. That seems, like, unfathomably bad to me. Okay. Okay. Next. You're not using lead-free, are you? I am. I use a lead-free, which makes it harder. I've never actually used leaded solder, so I don't even know what I'm missing. I solder at 664 degrees, or 646 degrees Fahrenheit. Lead poisoning? I know the amount of lead is very small, but still. I don't want to get lead poisoned. Listen, I eat enough dark chocolate as it is, okay? It's too risky. Okay. Oh yeah, so next year plans. I think it's okay to talk with you guys about next year plans. I want to do non-inventing streams eventually. Someday on lead free. Oh my gosh, that's why you're having to crank that thing up to like 750, 800. I'm afraid of temperatures that high, though. Doesn't unleaded solder have terrible fumes? It is a mix of tin and... It is a mix of... What is it, tin and copper? Should be tin and copper. Yeah, it's tin and copper. But yes, we have a fume extractor, so I'm not super worried about the fumes. Luckily, I haven't had a fume headache in several months. So that's good. Your streaming plans? Oh yeah, so streaming plans. I want to stream things different than just inventing. I really, 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 really do. Oh, thank you so much, Maple, for the raid. How was gathering in World of Warcraft? Welcome in, raiders. Hopefully you guys are doing well. My name is Oriana Aura. I am a VTuber that is a dolphin-human hybrid. I make cool electronic devices. Currently, we are trying to make a device that will allow chat to rage war on each other by using mathematics. So yeah, let me just shout out your channel real quick. Hopefully your stream was good. I know we have quite a bit of overlap. Alright, there we go. Okay. So yeah, welcome in. Hopefully you guys are doing well. What did you guys get up to? I think you were talking about, again, end-of-year plans and gathering in WoW, but maybe some additional stuff over the past hour? See, I lurk in all streams everywhere at once. That is my MO. Oh my gosh. With the Maple... Wait, you're watching 9 different streamers at the moment, Cogs? Cogs, how are you... How? How are you watching 9 different streams? Do you have, like, several monitors? Alright. So this guy is pretty... Mute tab is how? Sag. Yes, just flying in circles, talking about end-of-year stuff. It was nice. How goes the project? So, the start of project is going okay. We're doing a lot of soldering today. We will be trying to get the digital logic working before we are done. So that is what we are currently working on. Give me one sec. Okie dokie. Yes, Andrea, that is correct, but I'd rather not deal with the possibility of contamination. I wouldn't be afraid. Yeah, like, again, even if there's not that much lead that it's physically dangerous, but I don't know, I just kind of decided before I knew better that I would just be using unleaded solder for the rest of my life, and here we are, using unleaded solder for the rest of my life. Anyways, let's go ahead and check this device. Give me a second. Make sure the connections are good. What I'm going to do is just connect to a little engine that I have on the side here. Little DC motor. I say, but there is no connector points for it. Well, I would prefer to use that. Give me a moment. Huh. Where are our DC motors? What else could we power? Oh, the other thing that we can power is just a power relay. Yeah, that'll work. If I just go here and here, it should work. Yeah, okay. So it is working, which is not unexpected. Like, again, we just did a simple solder job, so we're good. We might have worked together. Oh, that's cool. Things of the highest standard. Oh, nice. Yeah, Sparks was the one who made me even go up to this temperature, because I was sitting at like 550. I was sitting at like 550 degrees before Sparks convinced me to go higher. So that's why I'm at 646 now. Okay. Batteries. Logic. And resistors. Yes, but the problem... Okay. So the debate that I would say is that the rosin goes out quicker. Or the rosin evaporates, for lack of a better word. I'm not super technical on this. Evaporates, for a lack of a better word. And you have to work quickly when you're working at high temps. Also, I'm really afraid of, like, missing... Oh, hey, Wacky Brain, welcome in! Happy New Year's Eve! Yeah, cheer. We can do a little cheers. Sparkling cider. Okie dokie. So, next we need some resistors. Oh, that's an interesting emote. I do not know who that's from. Velvet. Interesting. Alright, so, tiny resistors. We essentially have to calculate... Actually, we should be fine just using 100 and 200 resistors. I just applied for a company named Corn Fairy. I'm very concerned by the name. Why? It sounds perfectly fine to me. Okay, this is really just wire. Let me just get out some resistors. I'm going to grab, ideally, the 100 ohm resistor and 200 ohm resistor. Okay, 100 ohms. They misspelled corn. Is that not how you spell corn? It's 470 kilo ohms. Okay. I soldered lead at 550. It's a more question of size of the metals being soldered of larger things require higher heat. Been soldering for 30 years. Oh, yeah. Listen, it's all good. We've been doing mostly soldering this entire stream. Though soldering is but a tool in our toolkit. Is but another tool in our tool belt. Maybe an old rock group from the 90s? Are we talking like the 1890s or the 1990s? I wonder if that will ever be a thing. Dude, what if that is a thing? Like 30 years from now, like I like 50s music. Like, do you mean from the 1950s or from the 2050s? I'm sorry, that complete random aside. Also, welcome back, Nahila Turin. 1790s, tell us all your stories about 1790 music. I actually was under the sea for a vast majority of it, so I don't have a great amount of knowledge on that. Alright, so one thing that I want to do is... because Olge. We are just going to establish a common voltage rail. So we are going to have positive and ground. I believe these work on 3 volts. I think they're meant for 5 volts, but I'm sure it can take 3.3 volts. I'd have a very hard time believing that they can take 3 volts. We'll see. If it blows up, it blows up. No biggie. Okay. Next, we need to set up the logic. So right now we aren't going to use the Mux Trafficker, we're going to use... Oh, we have a slight bend on our pen, give me a second. We aren't going to be using... We aren't going to be using the Mux for the initial testing, we are just going to be using GPIO, because we have enough available for a few. So close, this is the ESP8266, so if you see, real close. We actually have this one delid. We have this guy delidded, but yeah, that's what it looks like. ESP8266, it's an earlier version of the 32, and the reason why I use it is because I debatably like the dev kit more on this guy than most of the common ones for the ESP32. Because the I/O is better. Additionally, the library support, in my opinion, is also better, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. That one's definitely a debate. It's a representative of age. Yeah, sure. We'll start with 100 ohm resistors. Okay, so we're gonna need 3. And again, I just want to set up the first 3 and then move forward from there. Just use the new open source Rust libraries. I'm not going to use Rust on stream. I refuse. I absolutely refuse to use Rust on stream. Absolutely refuse, dude. I'm not going to use a memory-safe language like Rust, because that's like human suffering. I really should learn Rust, but I really don't want to. 1790s actually had quite music from Haydn to Mozart from that time, I would say. Oh, okay. Okie-dokie. Memory safe? Yes, so Rust is... Correct me if I'm wrong, but Rust is a memory safe language. Or is supposed to be a memory safe language. Rust makes me cry. Yeah, Rust makes everyone cry. That's why no one uses it. Unless you use unsafe? What do you mean? I feel like that's different. So again, in my opinion, you should always be avoiding using memory allocation. Like, you should never use malloc and calyx in the first place. So you shouldn't run into issues with memory in the first place. That's my hot take. By default, Rust is memory safe, but you can use it in an unsafe way. Okay, but why even use Rust at that point? Like, what would be even the point if you're... I don't get it. That's okay. We don't have to get everything. Okay, so again... they are labeled 1, 2, 3, so we have our emitter, we have our collector, we have our base. So let me just connect some wires for our base, or what we're programming. Hey Linted, welcome in! It's to reduce attack surface, interesting. Just need some male to female wires. Probably scrounge around enough on my desk. By default, everything is memory safe to an extent. Yeah, but isn't that like Rust's selling feature? Oh, Linted, you missed the talk about FPGAs and ASICs. Sag. Linted here is an expert on those. Nodders. Okay. Apologies. Thank you so much for the follow. My name is Mistaken. I very much appreciate that. I hope you have a good time here. Oh, really? I thought you had. Okay. Alright. So we need to connect these guys up. Hello, hello. Hey, Robotech83. Welcome in. Hopefully you are doing A-okay today. Do you work on robotics, or do you just like robots? Is a question I have for you. Okay. Ever tried to program in JSF C++? No, I'm not familiar with JSF on the face of it. I'm not sure what that is a acronym for. What are we building today? So we are trying to build a device that lets chat fight each other using mathematics. So the idea is that we are going to randomly split off teams of chatters, or teams of chat into 2 different teams. They are going to be given math problems to solve, and whenever someone puts in the right answer, it will proceed to the next one, and then deal damage to the enemy, and whoever, beats the other side first wins. It's not finalized, because, again, we've only been working on this for an hour and change. It's a defined standard where they restrict what you're allowed to use in programming for C++. It was used in the... Oh, okay. Chat gets to throw hands, but instead of hands, it's calculators. Yes. Oh, dang. Even though I build robos, I'm really bad at math. Oh, nice. What type of robots are we talking? And then we need collector, emitter. Emitter, collector. The output is 1. The output is 1. The output is 1. Okay. Okay. So 2 goes to ground. I just had to Google it. Robot Tech did come out in the 80s. Interesting. Ideally, it's not going to be able to be ChatGPT'd. I'm currently working on a 6-foot... Oh my gosh, that is beyond complicated. Why? Why? Why do this to yourself? That sounds extremely difficult. I'm actually gonna use a resistor and bounce it out with the resistor. Because I hated doing laundry and dishes. Why stop with humanoid, go to centipede? Yeah, I guess that's true. Macross? Interesting. Alright. That's opposite of what makes sense for the LEDs. Alright. Give me a second to get everything wired up, guys. Peak engineer doesn't want to do chores, would rather be an integration hack. Yeah. Yeah, kind of true. I mean, wouldn't you rather be an integration hack? Would you rather learn the simple way of doing something? Or would you rather waste a massive amount of time understanding it? One golden rule I learned of embedded software is never copy code you don't understand. I'm not 100% sure that's 100% true. You might be able to get away with it. Wait, the output is 1? Hold on. The output is 1. The output is 1. Oh my gosh, dude. Working with these can be so difficult. It's not actually difficult, I'm just bad. I'm not good at plugging resistors in, you know? Okay, get these wired. Oh, we're also going to need an additional male to female to connect this guy to a common ground. One sec. Okay. Copying code has never worked out for me. Really? That's actually kind of surprising to me. Okie dokie. Not I ventured into human genetics to avoid doing chores in my own home. If you say so. That seems unethical. It seems very unethical. And as we know, ethics is fourth here. Safety is third and ethics is fourth. Okay. And then I just need the red LED, wherever it is. Wait, what's first and second? I don't know, profit for the shareholder. Well, that's pretty cool, Robotech. Do you have any videos or images of it yet? Or is it still in earlier development stages? One day I'll learn to proofread my autocorrects. Yeah. Sorry, I'm still dying, by the way, from allergies. Apologies that I am muting every few seconds. I'm extremely congested right now. Okie dokie. You are on the wrong out. Don't be? Yes, just don't be sorry. This line goes here and here. I do have picks and small clips. Nice. Alright, this guy should be wired okay. And then we need to connect to our collector real quick. Collector is going to be just a normal male-to-male wire. Okay. Because we are moving forward. Whew. Okay, this guy goes in the middle. Hopefully we don't burn something. If we burn something, you know, we can just blame chat. I mean, I would never blame chat. Should be good when it comes to power. Now we just need to make the actual commands. So, the commands that we are looking at. So we are connected to GPIO 5, 4, and 14. So we need to make some software to control those real quick. And if this works, we can then port it to a bigger part of our subsystems. Okay. Again, we've done stuff like this before, so I'm not, like, overly worried that something is going to go horrendously wrong here. Give me a sec. I'm just... Actually, I'll just make a new file. Oh. Apologies. Okay. For what? For sneezing. Sniffling. Don't be. No promises. Oh, you're an Aqua fan. I think I've said that before. Sorry, I'm just repurposing some code real quick. Okay. So we're just going to repurpose some simpler code. Oh, it's the 31st of December today. Very interesting. So real quick, we have some stepper pin and stepper logic code. We are just going to strip that out. I'm going to strip out a lot of this stuff because we won't be needing it. 5, 4, and what was it, 12? 14. Okay. Someday we will get you to create a project standard library. Dude, listen, that will never happen. Also, hello, Ghoul. I'm sorry. What? Is that how Nero introduced... This is a rather silly question. Have you thought about using convolutional neural networks to give robots pre-semantic awareness of the world and then connecting it to the core so it can learn to move? I haven't thought of doing that. But I think you were asking Robotech. That sounds extremely difficult. Okay, so what we need to do here is we need to go ahead and make our code support our drivers. So we are going to just digital write. Whatever pins we are writing, 5, delay 1000. I will go grab a backup camera battery, 1 second. Okay. Okay. Let us proceed. Apologies, still sneezing quite a lot. Dying just a little. But I'm a-okay. Recently, the AI is able to interact with other people in VR chat. I find it quite impressive that it hasn't readed into he made that possible. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely impressive. I wonder some of the capabilities of it, and wonder how it's, like, tied in. But I imagine that it is, pretty pog. Seems very put together. 14, was it? Yeah, 14. Okay. I'm just gonna copy pasta this. And set this guy to low. Let's go ahead and set this guy to low. Okay, and then we just double check that this code compiles and we should be good. One sec. Cogs rate redeemed hydrate. Thank you, Cogs. I should hydrate with not cider. Posture check's good, thank you, Pokemon. Okay. Alright, so the code compiled... Oh, wrong thing. The code compiled, let's go ahead and push it over and see if our code works as expected. So we are just going to reprogram the flash. Yeah, I'm gonna get drunk on non-alcoholic cider, totally. Also, I've definitely had that thought as well, Meridian. Not like that deep of thought, but more or less that we're just like an AI training model. I am the large language model. Um, let's see. Alright, so as written, this bot should be able to connect to the internet and connect to Twitch chat and then move the LEDs. That's what it should be doing, or capable of doing. So let's take a quick look. So if you look at the LEDs, you'll see that they are going in order and then turning off in order. That's expected. And then additionally, our chat controls also, or our chat interface is also up and running. Okay, so, I think what I'm going to do is, it is a bit early, but I think I am going to call stream. We are at a good stopping point, so I think this is a good place to stop. What we are going to do is we are going to find someone to raid into. I will be in Discord briefly after. We will be fighting each other SFC. Thank you guys so much for being around today. It was very much appreciated. If Ham on Rye is streaming, we are raiding Ham on Rye. Ham on Rye is streaming, we are raiding Ham on Rye. Okay. So, I want to raid Ham on Rye. That's the person we're raiding today. So, thank you guys so much for being here. It is very much appreciated. I will be continuing this project on Friday. I hope to see you guys there. If not, that's perfectly okay too. And have a very good rest of the day and year, if it is. Yeah. Okay, see ya.